As good and excellent individuals, how do we handle this virus epidemic? Our high state officials have instructed us to hide and shelter. If not, then we risk a great threat. No, not the virus itself, but the wrath of those state officials and their power. Can we see where this is headed, and why should we resist? Vidar returns. At this time, we look around us and see everyone living in a state of fear and paranoia. Governments pressuring us to be afraid of a virus, afraid of dying, afraid of nature. Put on your mask. Don't go outside. Anxious for a liquid-injected vaccination to come and rescue us from our state of fear and desperation. Fearing death, while simultaneously passing death on to the next generation. What is a vaccination? It's not a cure. It's a stopgap measure at best. At worst, it can have its own devastating side effects, including debilitating illness and even death. It's a drug that authorities push onto every generation, and then push onto every next generation and the next. This ends up creating a dependence on injections for continued life. Without it, their descendants may suffer and die. It must be re-injected every generation forever until the end of existence. But at what point can it stop? Do we naively think that nature is going to stop mutating and creating new viruses? In the USA, the CDC currently recommends 24 vaccination injections before a child is even 1.5 years old. At what point is enough enough? 100 vaccinations? 1,000 vaccinations? 10,000 vaccinations? At such time when a population can't live or survive without vaccinations, they become enslaved to their government and the pharmaceutical corporations. Your children will become a number. This isn't a fictional story about a dystopian future. It is coming to pass right now before our very eyes. A government that can deny life to its population has them at its ultimate mercy. And do we submit to that for a virus with a nearly 99% survival rate? The American CDC's own documents show that those under the age of 50 have a 1 in 10,000 probability of dying. Someone who is afraid of statistics that low probably shouldn't risk driving on public roads. There is only one true cure for viruses. The cure is genetic strength and resistance. Nature continually creates new viruses, and nature simultaneously gave us their cure. At what point, when, do we begin to accept and promote natural immunity? For the healthy among us, we should be organizing virus parties and gatherings. Meet up with friends, family, and community members that have COVID. Help spread it to every healthy, willing, and brave individual we know. Now the authorities would love nothing more than to twist these words and the intent here. So don't misunderstand this message now. We should protect and care for the sick ones we love. But for the healthy people, we must decisively reject living in fear of nature and propagating a curse of degeneracy and dependence on the next generation. Every single one of us, good and bad, will die eventually. But the rewards and blessings of excellence only comes to the brave among us. Our people and our children will live on. Those who are cowardly and weak may live to see a day longer than us in the short term, but their offspring will not survive. Their children will be slaves and be cursed from birth. In the end, when our generation has passed, how we died is not relevant. All that matters, all that people will remember us for, is how we lived. What good did you pass on while you had the opportunity? We should be striving daily to do something that makes for continuing our superior lineage, such as making and attending local community events, planning our lives for the future, educating our children on both good and evil, and raising up those good people who have been unjustly suppressed in society. These are just a few possibilities. Great blessings and strength has been given to us by our ancestors, and those societies that cease to continue pushing and increasing that strength forward will themselves cease to exist. Be healthy and be in harmony with nature. Links for everything are in the description. It's the holidays now and a time to be grateful. Every month and every day is a time to practice gratefulness for our community. We are amazingly blessed. I love you all and say a word of thanks to our ancestors that suffered so that we could live blessed lives. If you haven't already, go and watch the previous video on how to destroy civilization. Just live to be happy. Also follow now to stay updated with Vidar Returns content. We're on Steemit, Gab, Minds, and Odyssey networks, and live chat on the Matrix network. Vidar Returns.